my joyonline.com this morning has a story that says, my team was against conceding early in elections. That's according to Dr. Bawumia, who was the NPP's presidential candidate in the 2024 election. George, why? Right there, smile and...
No, but I mean, it's
rumors.
to be expected. I mean, why would anybody want early concession? But I mean, I think by conceding, he proved that he's the digital man. And he did say that we've done all the calculations and realized that what's left, even if we should add all to mine, we're still not going to win.
No, I
so
mean,
he might as well concede.
Yeah.
And I do not know why members of the team would negate it. What for? Or you're hoping there'll be a change?
No, I'm sure that there's a school of thought within the NPP that says that his early concession affected his parliamentary candidates.
Well,
it affected them because in some of the areas, the moment he conceded,
it emboldened the opposition
to now start moving.
Well,
Yes, you want to make a point?
yes. I thought, when he in that concession speech where he acknowledged that the presidential election he had lost it, he also didn't talk about the parliamentary and said we had lost the parliamentary as well. But I disagree with electoral officers, people who have been trained to do their work, because a party has conceded defeat.
Yeah, we had those as well. That some places said, okay, then we are finished. We are closed. We are not counting anymore.
How do you say you're done when you need the figures?
It's not the electoral of
because we heard that some electoral officers decided to relax.
I was in a conversation with a returning officer, and he said a lot of things to me. He told me what happens in elections, the avenues where people are able to manipulate results and all of that. He told me constituencies the NDC believed they won in 2020 and were taken from them. So in 2020, if you realize, some of them were very close, very, very close. In 2024, immediately the concession happened. Then people ran. For instance, he says in his constituency, they ran there. When they came, he had already declared. And they said, okay. In nearby, by the time they got to the original thing, they had held the returning officers. They had, people actually, you see. Okay, let's listen to Bawumia.
Okay.
The data from our own internal collation of the election results indicate that former President, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, has won the presidential election decisively. The NDC has also won the parliamentary election.
Yeah, so that's
I think nobody should take away the shine from what the vice president did.
It was very
gentlemanly
mature,
behavior. I think he's an example, positive example for this continent, and I have been super proud.
Continent for the world. Don't forget, just about 4 years ago, Donald Trump caused mayhem.
Yeah,
we cannot run away from it. So it's a positive example for the world as a whole.
Whatever he did, if the results that the MPP got will be there for them to see. The parliament and even the parliamentary elections, by midnight you would know. What happens after that are the machinations. People try to scheme. So he would know. But I'm just giving you the other school of thought, which said that his early concession may have affected his. But whatever the case was, the NDC was going to have super majority in parliament.
I think he also made it clear that the revelations that so-called prophets and men of God and blah blah blah, all the things that they told us, now we know that they were not true. Because if you gave a date and you said God said this and it did not happen, then you lied.
They would tell you God changed his mind because they prayed.
Maybe I have
somebody else prayed against it. Your revelation.
You see, some of these things I have always insisted that when it comes to prophets saying, "Oh, this person is going to win this election," I've seen it. I'm not keen on those. See, a lot of those things, some people can gauge the atmosphere and go and make a prediction and say that, oh, God revealed to me that this. Amavi, we have seen prophets changing their, this guy is going to win in the course of the election, and they start changing it.
Change
But you see, this is the thing. even the Israelites, when they went to war against the Moabites,
Hallelujah.
I think it's in 2 Kings chapter 3, verse 20,
Preach on, bro.
5 to 27
Preach
there
on.
about. You would realize that
Preach on.
the Moabite king, went to his palace and sacrificed the heir to the throne. Let me read it verbatim. You would understand something. That he went and sacrificed his son in the course of war. And at that point, even God got touched by what the king had done. This is 2 Kings chapter...
Second
Kings. 2 Kings chapter 3, verse 20... 27.
And then just says,
Yeah, I just
What the collection?
yeah, and the angel prayer.
Adonai.
Then listen, it says, then the king of Moab took his eldest son, who was to reign in his place, and offered him publicly as burnt offering to Chemosh on the city wall, horrifying everyone. And there was great wrath against Israel, and the Israelites and their allies withdrew from the king Jehoram, and returned to their own land.
Hallelujah.
Sometimes, just sometimes, even on the day of elections, results can change.
Yeah, well.
Results can
So
change.
you also believe the concession was a bit too early?
No, I think it was the right thing to do.
Yeah, I
You
believe
see,
so too.
if he had at that point in time, it was the right thing to do.
Tensions were too high. Look, I
Exactly.
remember that Sunday morning, we were also on air reporting, and almost everywhere you could feel that people were just waiting to do something. That concession sort of just, it was like boiling water in a pot on fire, and then it was like all of a sudden.
Because
I agree, especially
think it
because
was
the
the
Electoral
best
Commission
thing.
was so slow.
Yes,
they
were
went
very slow,
quiet.
very quiet, and
they
there was
didn't know
nothing
what
coming from them. Nobody knew, and so we're hearing pockets of issues from
we
various
got a hint.
constituencies and all that.
we
It
got
was-
a call.
It was.
We got a call from his campaign team
Yeah.
around 6
Yeah.
that he was going to concede at 9.
Yes.
And so we're waiting
Yes.
patiently.
I didn't know how to react. I was like, no way, that's
Yes.
not happening.
No, so when we got the call. Anyway, let's do other stories. Akufuor partly to blame for MPP's defeat in 2024. That's Frank Ejekum. I just have a word
Former
to
President John Ajekun Kufuor
say.
spokesperson.
Yeah, I just have something briefly to say on this. At the time when people told the NPP Akufuor's posturing and that of his inner cabinet,
Yeah.
everybody you say, I mean, when you criticize Akufuor, the party members would descend heavily on you. Today, they have realized that he was partly to blame. Anyway,
There's another story, Winston, on myjournline.com. A very intriguing one. Is lured for love, caged for cash. How an 80-year-old American seeking love was kidnapped in Ghana by a Nigerian gang.
Wait, mention the age again?
80. But to be fair, so and I'll encourage all of you to read the entire story. I mean, it's a whole this is proper teamwork, and they planned it for years. 80. But she actually thought that she was chatting with a McHammon. You know him. If you are an NCIS fan, then you know Agent Gibbs.
Agent Gibbs, yes.
Who is about 73,
Yes,
I think.
yes.
So she thought
she
that
was
was the
in the
person
space.
that. But I really don't know how Agent Gibbs will be in Ghana or
He came for holidays.
somewhere in Africa. I don't know. So she was lured to Ghana because after she chatted with this guy for quite a bit, she ended up in Ghana and was picked up
At the
at
airport.
Kotoka by a lady who had been sent by
Agent Gibbs.
the Agent Gibbs, exactly, and kept her in a place in Tema. You know, that's where they kept her. She would only go out with the assistants, but she wouldn't speak to anyone, that kind of thing. And they wanted money from her, and she left. She left America. Her son did not even tell her son that she was coming to Ghana to meet anyone. And these are alleged. So I mean, they are Nigerians, a whole gang involved in this kind of thing, romance scam, as we know it. And then, fortunately, the FBI got involved because she was supposed to sell her house in the US,
US
and
and
send the money
to
down.
them.
Exactly.
Wow.
So that's how her son got
involved
the
and all that.
FBI, the police involved, and then the FBI, and they collaborated with the Ghana police, and they lay ambush, and then they got hold of 2 of them. So that's the McHammond. Hey, Charlie. And then the lady who picked her up at the airport. We're told that there are others involved that they are trying to get hold of.
They should get hold of everybody.
Wait, at 80, what are you looking for love for at 80? At 80, haven't you loved enough?
Well, George,
Wait till you're 80.
No.
You see, I met George.
It's not good to be alone.
Yeah,
George,
but at 80, haven't you loved enough?
No, I met an old lady years ago, and she said, "Nana, don't be surprised if you find me with a young man, because sometimes you crave." These were her words. We used to call her Asawa baby. Asawa.
Why you? 80.
Yeah, was very old at the time. But you see, she only told me the truth and said, look, she loves to hear sweet things.
Wow.
She loves to hear sweet things.
Yeah.
Oh, that's...
And if you can get the sweet things to her, man, you're gone. Anyway.